Hi everyone, I'm Reshma Narayan. I'm an associate director at Fidelity International, and within the organization, I'm a part of the Enterprise Data Foundations team. Alongside my core role, I also serve as the global co chair of the Gender Balance Network. My values that guide me every day are curiosity, commitment to lifelong learning, and a genuine empathy for people. I enjoy understanding different perspectives that people bring because I believe the strongest outcomes come from listening, learning, and bringing people together. These values are core to me and have shaped not only how I lead teams but also how I build my day to day relationships at work, outside work, and drive meaningful change. I've had the privilege working with many leaders throughout my career, each with their very unique style. Some leadership approaches have deeply resonated with me, while others have helped me understand what kind of a leader I did not want to become. So these experiences throughout my career have been very valuable in shaping my leadership philosophy. One pivotal decision that I made a few years ago was to be bold enough to step into an area where I did not have any prior expertise, but just with a genuine passion to learn and to make a difference. That experience taught me that leadership isn't about knowing everything, it is about having the courage to learn, adapt, and bring others on the journey. I believe leadership is a continuous journey. Every day brings new perspectives, experiences, and lessons that I continuously absorb and incorporate into my own approach. As I continue to grow, I consciously evolve my leadership style, taking inspiration from leaders I admire while remaining true to my core values. I've had the opportunity to lead several transformation initiatives throughout my career, and every transformation initiative has taught me something or the other about people, change, and the importance of bringing others along in your journey. But one transformation that stands out for me has been focused on creating a more inclusive culture and helping people rethink how they work and interact every day. Giving a little bit more insights into this. So, this journey was not only just looking at the symptoms of a problem, we deliberately took time to understand it at the grassroots level, listening to employees, understanding their experiences, and identifying the barriers that prevented people from feeling included and empowered. Now, why this initiative was truly transformational for me was that it was not about introducing a new policy or a process, it was about influencing behaviors, mindsets, and everyday actions. We challenged the long standing ways of working, encouraged people to think differently about inclusion, collaboration, and the role each of us played in bringing an inclusive environment. The journey is still ongoing because cultural changes don't happen overnight. However, we have already had a meaningful shift in awareness, conversations, and behaviors. The more people are actively engaging, speaking up, supporting one another, and taking ownership about creating an inclusive workplace. For me, building and enabling others starts first with creating an environment where people feel safe and they would trust in speaking up. Many a times I look for opportunities for people to stretch beyond their comfort zones, whether it's as simple as leading a meeting, presenting to senior stakeholders, taking on a new challenge, or stepping into a role that they would never be fully ready for. Often that's where the biggest growth happens. I've also learned that mentoring always need not have to be formal. Most of my conversations happen over coffee, over lunch breaks, or through informal check in sessions. I make it a point to connect with a wide variety of people across the organization and with outside as well, and where I genuinely have conversations, trying to connect with people and just not for the sake of any kind of coaching or mentoring. Understanding what people motivates, what's the psychological baggage that they bring in, what challenges they are facing, and what are the aspirations for them to achieve allows me to provide the guidance which is more relevant and meaningful to them. And one of the most rewarding aspects of leadership is seeing people grow in confidence, develop new capabilities, and achieve things that they thought that they could never achieve. Knowing that I've played a part, a small part in their journey itself is a very, very, very fulfilling. One of the most challenging leadership experiences I have faced was driving cultural and inclusion focused change in an environment where many key decision makers were senior leaders with significant influence and deeply established ways of working. The challenge was helping people recognize that inclusion was just not about policies or representation or the diversity figures. It's about the everyday behaviors, decisions, the experiences to shape how people feel at work. Changing those behaviors often meant challenging long held assumptions, encouraging uncomfortable but necessary conversations. The experience taught me that real leadership is not about having the loudest voice in the room, but it's about having the courage and persistence to influence change even when it's difficult and bringing people with you on this journey. My advice to women aspiring to step into leadership positions are keep looking for opportunities because they will never be handed over to you on a plate. Be willing to step outside your comfort zone and raise your hand for challenges even when you don't feel completely ready. Just one thing to note is that meaningful careers are not built overnight and they take time. And big achievements are only possible when you celebrate every small milestone in that journey. So stay curious, keep learning, and trust that every experience is preparing you for the next big opportunity.